it's Pam here, and I want to talk to you about a part of marketing that is really underutilized, something that you should be using. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is not necessarily new, it's not necessarily revolutionary, it's not necessarily something that is a tactic or a hack. It's just something that works, and I promise you that if you pay more attention in this specific area of your business, you are going to thank me, because you are going to see great success. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about email marketing. Now, yes, I know, before you say, but Pam, email is dead. But Pam, I'm not even opening my own emails. Why would people open emails that I send to them? But Pam, aren't click-through rates down? The truth of the matter is that yes, click-through rates are down, and yes, there are some people who aren't using email. However, over and above everything else that you could be using for your business, i.e. social media or even paid ads, etc., the biggest one that will give you the ROI that you want, which is the return on investment, is email. Why? Because your email list is going to be the most valuable asset that you could ever own. And in fact, if you play your cards right, you could put $1 in and get $35 to $40 out, or £1 in and get £35 to £40 out. Now tell me, where can you make such an investment and get that amount of money out? Now, granted, it's not the same for everybody, but I'm hoping that through the secrets and strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today, that you are going to see great success in all of your marketing efforts. So today, I want to share with you some email marketing secrets and strategies for 2021 that are really going to set you up for success. Now, I mentioned earlier that email marketing is one of the most valuable assets that gives you the return on investment. Now, to get that kind of ROI out of email marketing, you need to understand how to use it well. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today are strategies and tactics that I use every single day, that the most successful marketers are also using, and that work. I want to show you how to own your email list in a way that you'll never own any other social media platform. And if you haven't even started to grow your email list and you're wondering how to begin, then take a look at this video where I walk you through exactly how to build your email list from 0 to 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever you want it to be, using those strategies. So make sure you check that out. So let's dive in. Now, one of the first questions that I get all the time about email marketing is, but Pam, I want to create a newsletter, but I have no template, or I need to pay somebody to create a template for me. Please don't do that. I think that that is the biggest myth that I want to burst right now. You do not need some shiny newsletter template. And in fact, I advise you not to use a template for your emails. Why? Because it might be tempting to want to have all of these graphics in your emails and images in your emails and all of these fancy things. But the truth of the matter is that the more you have these things in your emails, the more it actually triggers spam. And as you know, that Gmail is one of the most widely used email platforms out there. So your ideal clients are probably using email. And very recently, about a couple of years ago, Gmail introduced their promotions tab. Their promotions tab is there to help their users to segment their emails. And so when you have all of these bells and whistles in your emails, these images and videos and graphics and all of these fancy things, it instantly goes into the promotions tab. And so that is why email open rates are dead, because a lot of people are putting too many things into their emails, meaning that it's going into promotions tab. And you tell me, if you use Gmail, really, when was the last time you went into the promotions tab to fish out an email and actually take action? Right? Nobody does that. So you want to avoid all of those things so that your email ends up in the right place in the inbox instead of in the spam or the promotions tab. So when crafting your emails, you want to keep them as simple. You want to craft it as if you're writing a letter. Remember back in the day when we actually wrote letters? Well, I don't know, I didn't write letters. My parents' generation wrote letters, but you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day when letters were the preferred mode of communication and it was plain and simple. That is what you want your emails to be. So get away from all of the fancy pre-designed stuff. It takes you time and it costs you money to put together, and it won't help you. It will land you into the spam or the promotions tab. Now let's move on to how to format your emails. So when it comes to email marketing, one of the things that has really worked well for me is that I spend a lot of time formatting my emails so that they are easy to read, digest, and also they are skimmable. Now, what does that mean? It means that, prior to doing a lot of email marketing training, I would write my emails as though I was speaking to somebody, I would, write big, long paragraphs, etc. But the truth of the matter is that when we are communicating with somebody and it's a conversation, don't you speak one line and then you wait for the person to respond? That is the way that email marketing should work. So what does that mean? It means that you've got to ensure that your sentences are short. So keep sentences short. Use one-liners as much as possible throughout the body of your email. You can use emojis to explain some things. You can use, bold and all of these things to explain specific points of your email, but you want to keep your sentences short so that they are not long, boring paragraphs that you are writing. The other thing that I do, and this is as fancy as I would ever get, is I might add a Gif Hero there, just one GIF in the email that really explains a point. So for example, if I'm going to be sending this specific video that I'm recording to my audience, instead of just saying, here is the video that I want you to watch, I might add a GIF to that to make it a little bit more interesting. And I know that GIFs don't necessarily tend to trigger the spam, and so I would use it, but use it sparingly. Now let's talk about increasing the deliverability of your emails so that they end up in the right spot in the inbox. So there are two tips that I want to give you for your deliverability to increase it. So the first one, and this is something new that I learned recently, that is to make sure that when you use an email address to send your email, so your send from email, make sure that it has a real name in front of it. So you want to avoid contact at blank, whatever your website name is. So if my website is pamobassa.com, so you want to avoid contact at pamobassa.com or info at pamobassa.com, or whatever it is, hello, which is the one that I used to use, hello at pamobassa.com. Instead, you want to put a real name there. So Pam at pamobassa.com, and of course put your own name there for your own email. The reason this is very important is because you do not want your email to come across as salesy or spammy or impersonal. You want your email to come across as though it is from a real person. And believe it or not, your email providers, there's an algorithm there. There are systems behind these things that look to see where is this email coming from, and their job, Gmail's job, is to make sure that whatever it is that it doesn't think is going to be of use to its users, that it puts it in the spam or in the promotions tab. And so one way that you can negate this is to make it seem as though it is coming from a real person, because of course it is. The second tip that I want to give you to increase your deliverability is to encourage your users, your subscribers, to reply back to your email. So oftentimes when I'm creating a series of emails, I'll have, a couple of calls to actions in there asking my subscribers to respond back. This is incredibly important because it builds the strength of your domain. It builds the strength of your deliverability. Now, why is that important? It's because, again, like I mentioned earlier, you've got to think about email marketing as a conversation. When I say something to somebody in a conversation, I'm expecting them to respond back to me. And so when you send an email and your subscribers respond back to you, you're sending signals to those systems that are handling your subscribers' email and to your email. You're sending signals to say, hey, we know each other. We are talking. Here we are. We're having a conversation, we're chilling, we understand each other. And what happens is the next time you send them an email, guess what happens? Your email arrives into their inbox as opposed to their promotions tab or their spam. Why? Because you had sent signals showing that there is a genuine relationship. Now, how can you encourage people to respond back to your email? Well, very simply, when I write my emails, down at the bottom in the PS section, I add a PS and I go, PS, respond back to my email, or PS, hit reply. I read every reply that I receive and I respond directly back to you. Or I might add a question. or I might even add an incentive. So sometimes I've added an incentive, if I'm going to be sharing a series of something, I've said to my subscribers, I've said, hey, look, I don't want to send you this thing if you are not specifically interested in it. So let me know that you are interested by hitting reply and just typing, send it to me, Pam, and I will make sure that I send it to you tomorrow. Remember, hit reply and type, send it to me. So I used a call to action twice at the bottom of my emails, and guess what happens? People do hit reply and they do follow what I share with them. They type and send it to me. And the moment that comes back to me and I reply back to them, instantly I am opening the floodgates of hopefully a great relationship, and my emails become really relevant to them and my deliverability increases. So I highly recommend that you do the same. So now I want to talk about how often should you send emails to your list. One of the biggest killers of your email list is the lack of sending emails. I promise you, out of sight is out of mind. I know a lot of marketers who send emails daily, and yes, that might seem overwhelming, and yes, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of patience and a lot of time to send emails daily. And don't worry, I'm not even recommending that you send emails daily, but I am recommending that as you build your email list, in order to maintain a relationship with your subscribers, you've got to really send an email at least once a week. Now, the only time that I would recommend that you do any more than once a week is if you are running a promotion. So when we are running promotions, we run promotions in a series of, sometimes it's a 5-day series, sometimes it's a 7-day series, sometimes it's a 14-day series. But the truth of the matter is that if you do not send an email to your list, if you have like a month's break, 2 months, or God forbid 3 months and above, oh my goodness, guess what? The moment you then send an email, people would have forgotten about you and they would instantly unsubscribe. So all of that effort that you have spent growing your email list will have gone down the drain. So make sure that you are sending your emails at least weekly to maintain that relationship. On that note, if you're loving this, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button so that you can check out all of the videos that I have coming up for you regarding email marketing and so on. So on that note of promoting, when should you promote and how should you promote? When people join your list, they're not joining for you to sell things to them. I know it sounds even silly to even think that, what do you mean people don't want me to sell to them? The truth of the matter is they don't, right? They want to hear from you. They want a relationship with you. But let's be serious. If you're growing an email list, then you are most likely a business owner, which means that you have something to sell. So when should you sell? So let me break it down. Here is a rule that I follow. It's called the 3 then 1 rule. Now, what does that mean? When somebody joins your list, or even when you're doing a promotion, you've got to send at least 3 emails before you promote on the first one. So I look at it this way. I go give, ask. You see that? Give, and then ask on your 4th email. And then your 5th email, you can ask again. You can use that to, remind your subscribers, about the thing that you are promoting. And then moving forward, you can then go harder on your promotion. But I think it's really cheeky to avoid the give and just ask. You'll find that I doubt that people will stay on your email list. So make sure that you follow the 3 then 1 rule so that you are giving before you ask. Now, I want to talk about how to get people on your email list. So check out this video where I shared how to take your email list from 0 to 10,000 and beyond. Make sure you check it out once you finish watching this, but let me share some really strong strategies for how to get people onto your email list and how to continue growing your list. So the way to get people to your email list is through a powerful lead magnet. Now, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something simply that you give to somebody in exchange for their name and their email. So this could be anything free. And I recorded another video where I shared 18 types of lead magnets that work incredibly well. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to pop the link right below this video. The one thing that I will say is that when creating your lead magnet, please try to avoid ebooks. Why? Because it's not a quick win. The thing that makes a lead magnet work really well is that somebody can get it and digest it almost immediately and get value within a very short space of time. So make sure that it's easy to consume and that it provides a quick win. The other thing that you want to avoid when it comes to a lead magnet is sending out newsletters. And yes, we use the term newsletters, to signify sending out emails to people. But what I mean by newsletters is, have you been on people's websites where at the bottom there's some sort of footer that says join my newsletter? Truth be told, nobody wants to join your newsletter. Instead, they're happy to join your email list if you're giving them something in return, if there's a reason, if there is something in it for them. So that is where a really good lead magnet comes in. So don't forget to check out the video below this one in the description where I share 18 of such types of lead magnets so that you can begin to grow your email list. So when it comes to lead magnets, what's working is anything that provides a quick win, anything that promises some sort of result, anything that offers some sort of transformation as opposed to information. Now, what is the difference between the two? So if you had a lead magnet, for example, that said 5 reasons why your product isn't selling, well, that's no good because you're just giving them information. However, if you created some sort of checklist that shares tools for how to generate sales or leads, now then you are giving them transformation because you are actually now empowering them to get some results. So if you're in the skincare niche, you could create a checklist of ingredients to avoid in your skincare products. If you're in the food niche, then you could create some sort of cheat sheet for how to create healthy meals on the go. Or if you're in marketing, you could create a video series for how to improve your marketing using Facebook or Instagram or any of those platforms. But I hope you understand the difference between information and transformation. Information is someone just telling you what to do. Transformation is where they're actually giving you tips and strategies and empowering you to be able to achieve that. So my favorite type of lead magnet for 2021 is actually either a case study or a challenge. Now, in the video below this, that's in the description where I shared 18 types of lead magnets, I've actually used all of those types of lead magnets and they all work exceptionally well. However, I find that if you're in business, for example, having some sort of case study works exceptionally well, or a challenge. Now, why is that? So a case study works really well because, well, a case study is exactly that. It's a case study. If you write a case study well, it shows the journey from start to finish. And it really gives the reader, or, if they're watching it via a video, it really gives them a bird's eye view for how you got results. So we have a really good case study that really walks through how we were able to generate $120,000 in 3 days. So inside of that case study, I really broke down from where it began, and it began not within 3 days. It began way before how I set up my sales systems and the various components that went into it, and then the marketing that went into it, the products that we sell, and all of these things. And it is one of the most valuable thing that we give to our subscribers. Again, I'll put the link below this video in case you want to check it out. Completely fine, and it's up to you. But if you can create some sort of case study from any results that you have or your process, I think it is one of the most relevant lead magnets for 2021. The other type of lead magnet that works exceptionally well is a 5-day challenge. Now, we use this as our lead magnet again because within the course of 5 days, you're able to help your audience to achieve some sort of result. Now, I've seen challenges that, that happen over the course of 3 days, 5 days as we do, 7 days, or even 21 days. The sweet spot, I think, if you're going to create one for your lead magnet, is definitely 5 days. And we get incredible results on the back end of any of our offers simply because we spend an entire 5 days really helping, giving transformation and getting results for our audience, and people fall in love with you. And guess what? People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And over the course of 5 days, you can definitely achieve that. So speaking of a 5-day challenge, another benefit is that over the course of 5 days, you know that your subscribers are going to be opening your emails, therefore building that domain authority and making sure that your open rates are much higher. Now, how do you keep the conversation going beyond your 5 days challenge or beyond some sort of email series? I want to break that down for you right now. If you're just starting out in email marketing, I highly recommend that you create a series of emails. The easiest to get started with is a 5-day series. So when people join my program, one of the first set of emails that they create is a 5-day welcome series. And I want to break down how that works. So you want to create a series of emails that give value. And the one of the most important things to do with these emails is that you've got to loop each one. That means that email 1 would tease what's happening in email 2. And then in email 2, it'll remind people what happened in email 1 and tease what's going on in email 3. And then if you remember when I shared earlier about the 3 then 1 strategy, which means that email 1, 2, and 3, you are giving. And then on email 4, that is where your call to action comes in. What kind of call to action can you use? Well, it depends on what you want out of your business. Do you want people to subscribe to your YouTube channel? Do you want people to schedule a call with you? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to land on a sales page? What do you want them to do? You want to tease that call to action from email number 4. And then in email number 5, you tease that call to action again. So when getting started, you definitely want to make sure that you have at least a 5-day series so that as people join your email list, they go through these 5 days to begin with before anything else. And speaking of anything else, I want to talk about very quickly how to automate your emails. If you've spent even just 5 minutes with me, you'll know that I am your automations girl. I love automation. Being a mom of very small children, tools and sales systems and funnels, oh yeah, that's my jam all day long. You've got to love automation because automation really buys you back your time. So I want to share some tips to help you to automate your email. So tip number 1 is to do the work up front. That is the benefit of automation. So what I'm sharing with you right now is some automation inside of my ConvertKit account that has helped me massively in my business. And now that I'm moving over to ActiveCampaign, I'm replicating it and going even deeper. So if you look down your screen, what you are seeing is a series of lead magnets, and it's the journey that my subscribers go in. And this specific automation lasts for around 6 months. That's right. That means that I can take 6 months out of my business today if I wanted to, and I'll know that my emails are still going out to new subscribers, and all of the links are working, and all of the calls to action and all the stories that I have told in my emails, they are all relevant for today. But I didn't create all of that in one day. I didn't even do it in 1 week, and I didn't even do it in 1 month. And that is the benefit of automation. You get to do things ahead of time and 1 email at a time. So in order to do that, you want to invest in a system such as ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign. Now, yes, there are other things that you can use. There's MailChimp, there's Kajabi, there's all sorts that I don't know, that I don't use. And but the ones that I use are the ones that I will tell you about because I've used them, I've tried them, and they work incredibly well. And I'll pop some links below this video so that you can check them out because they have really helped me to get some massive results. So tip number 1 is to do the work up front, and number 2 is to make sure that you have a really good email automation tool, and I'll pop some links below this video for you. Tip number 3 is to plan the length of your buyer's journey and then write your emails according to that journey. So that is why I was able to create an email of up to 6 months, even though I didn't do it in one go. But that is because I really understand my buyer's journey and how they're thinking and where their emotions are. And so I was able to craft stories that really aligns with my buyers and really brings them to the call to action that I want them to come to. Number 4 is to plan out topics for each email and feel free to link those topics to any other content that you have. So if you have videos on YouTube, link your topics to those. If you are more active on Instagram or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, link your topics to those and make sure that you are repurposing your content and you are making your content work for you. Tip number 5 is to write 1 email a week until it goes full circle and you have covered that entire customer journey. And then finally, put all of these emails into a sequence. Now, what does that mean? It means that if you write 1 email a week and you've spent 8 weeks writing these emails, so now you have 8 emails. If you just send out these emails to your subscribers, then your emails are gone, and that's fine, but you may not see that return on investment. But if you put it in a sequence, it means that if somebody joins your email list, even in 3 months time, even in 5 months time, they still receive those same 8 emails that you had spent 8 weeks writing. And this is where automation comes full circle, and it is with automation that you then get that return on investment. So on that note, I want to talk about how to get your emails opened. Now, how do you get your emails opened? It is by writing compelling email subject lines. And if you check out this video, I shared email subject lines that work, so make sure you check that out. But whilst we're here, let me share some tips that you can walk away and start implementing today. The best email subject lines are short, and they give your subscribers a really good reason to open your emails. So one thing that I tend to do all the time that works incredibly well is I use questions, or I use curiosity, I add emojis, I add personalization, so I add the customer's name in there, the subscriber's name in there. Another thing that I love to do with my email subject lines is I A/B test them, so I split test. And if you have the right email software, you will be able to split test, and your email software will tell you exactly which email subject line is working for you. Speaking of email subject lines and split testing, if you're using ConvertKit, for example, one of the reasons why I like ConvertKit and why I ask my clients to use ConvertKit is because split testing is actually really easy. And so what it does is, if you have two different email subject lines, for example, it'll send out your first email subject line to 15% of your emails, and your second email subject line to another 15% of your email subscribers, and now only 30% of your email subscribers have received your email. Now, what ConvertKit does is that it waits for 4 hours, and then depending on which email subject line has won based on those 30%, it then sends the rest of the 70% of your email list that winning subject line, meaning that you then have the chances of having an increased open rate, but most importantly, you have data, and that is important. What do I mean by that? It means that now you know what's working. You know, if you were testing emojis, for example, if you were testing a question versus curiosity subject line, you now know which one is working, and that is the power of split testing. So one email subject line that works really well for me is I think it's really silly, but it works exceptionally well, and it's this. It's "and then this happened, ... Why does that work? It's because it's curiosity. It's like, and then what happened? What happened, Pam? And then what happened? And that's all it is. And then this happened. A lot of people know me for storytelling, and something that I do all the time is that even in my email subject line, I tease the story. And so I try to use subject lines that really lets you know that there's a story in here. There's something that I want you to pay attention to. And so subject lines such as those work really well, especially if you have a really good story to back it up in the actual email. So when writing your email subject line, you want to make sure that you don't give all the answers away, because if you give all the answers away, then people have no reason to open your email. Hence why curiosity-based subject lines and question subject lines work really well. So I've given an example of a curiosity-based, but what about a question subject line? So you could use something like, "What the 3-step messaging strategy that works on Facebook?" That's a question. And if your ideal clients are struggling with Facebook, then chances are they will open that email. So here are some simple tricks to help you to increase your open rates. So use emojis, use first name personalization, use power words such as secrets, fast, video, introducing, open me. These are all power words that lead to people taking action. What I highly recommend when it comes to email subject lines is that you write 3 to 5 email subject lines, and then you choose your best 2 and let your email automation system let it split test those for you and find you the winner. The final thing I want to share when it comes to secrets and strategies is to make sure that you keep your email list clean. Now, what does that mean? It means that you've got to get used to removing people who are dead, i.e. they're not opening your emails, they're not clicking on anything, they are just taking up space on your emails. Now, I know it sounds counterintuitive, to ask you to grow your email list and then to ask you to remove people who aren't opening your emails. But the truth of the matter is that this isn't a numbers game, right? Whether you have 10,000 people on your email list or 20,000, it doesn't matter. What matters is the results that you are getting, the return on investment. So you can have somebody, I have a client, for example, in my program who, when she started, she had nothing on her email. Within the first week of promoting on her email, she had a whopping 10 people on her email list, which is nothing, right? It's so silly to even say it. But guess what? Out of those 10 people, she enrolled 5 paying clients. Can you even imagine that? 5 paying clients into her program from only 10 people on her email list. Now, flip that to people who have thousands of people on their email list but are struggling to get people to buy their services, buy their products, or pay for their stuff. Why? Because it's not a numbers game. It really is about relationship. So you really want to get used to removing people who have disengaged from your email, who are not opening it, who are not clicking anything. Because if you have a higher percentage of people who are not opening your emails, the message that you are sending out to the systems who are receiving these emails that you're sending is that you are spam. And because if they're looking at it and nobody's opening this email, then surely you must be spam. And guess what it does? It kills your email open rate and it sends it straight to the spam box. And this is because of those people who are pulling down your email because they're not opening it. So you want to get used to cleaning up your email and being comfortable with removing those people. So you want to clean up your email because otherwise it drags your email reputation down. And another reason why you want to clean up your email is because, well, guess what? You're paying for it. That's right. Every email provider out there charges you based on the number of people that are on your email list. And so if you have hundreds or even thousands of people who are not opening your emails, you're paying for those people. So surely it makes sense that you remove them. I mean, you don't want to be paying for people who don't even want to hear from you. So it's not a bad thing. Make sure you are cleaning up your emails because it increases your open rate and it helps you to stay out of that spam box. So I really hope that this was valuable to you today. I have created a playlist all about email marketing, including videos where I'm sharing some of my best lead magnets and giving you lead magnet ideas so that you can start growing your email list. And also I have another video where I'm sharing with you exactly how to take your emails from 0 to 15,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, whatever it is that your next goal is. You can definitely find the strategies inside of that video and so much more. Make sure you check out that playlist next and just watch all of those videos and most importantly take action. Again, if you have loved this, do me a massive favor by just giving it the thumbs up and of course subscribing to this channel because it helps me to see what is working so that I can create even more content. And please feel free to share. Let me know in the comments below, what have you taken away from this, right? What is the one thing that you probably didn't know or the one thing that I reminded you of that you will be trying, right? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you and I respond to every comment that you leave for me. So before I go, make sure you check out the playlist for my email marketing secrets and strategies and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.